Well, I just received my trigger for my Pyramid Air. I'm going to replace the trigger on my Benjamin NP. I bought this rifle a few weeks ago because a squirrel has declared war on my house, and I have countered by declaring war on this squirrel. So I bought it and I sighted in the scope, but to me, this trigger is absolutely horrible. It feels to me like I have to pull it about a ½ an inch, plus it's got a real strong spring on it. I can shoot it okay if I can brace the rifle against something so I won't move it, but that far of a trigger pull at that heavy a spring, it's just very difficult to hold it on target. So I bought this GTX trigger, and I'm going to replace it on my rifle right now. First thing to do is you're going to have to remove the barrel assembly with the trigger on it from the wooden stock. You'll see there is a screw right here, one exactly the same on the opposite side, and there is a one right here on the rear part of the trigger. Those 3 screws have to be removed, and then the wooden stock will pull away. And I'm going to do that right now. Alright, this is a close-up of the trigger, and with the air rifle pointed to my right, I can see the clip here on this trigger, and this clip has to be removed, and this pin has to be removed. Okay, I have to work off camera to do this because the camera is between me and the rifle. Using a very small flat bladed screwdriver like these little Stanley screwdrivers out of this little package here. They fit the little one of the little slots in this clip, and you might want to keep your finger on that clip when you're applying pressure, because mine jumped off and I had to locate it on the floor. It will spring. Then you push the little pin out. It comes out pretty easy, but this little spring here will have a little bit of pressure on it, but that's the only thing. And you push the pin out and this trigger will come straight out. And you have to look at the, I think they call it a fat pin. It's right here, this little pin. It has to go back into the new trigger, and it has to be on the correct side. Mine came out with this pin facing on the downside, so the new trigger will have to go back the same way, and the little fat pin will go back the same way. We're not going to save that little spring on the back of that trigger. It came with it. The instructions say it's not needed. So when I place this trigger here, my little fat pin is going to go on that hole and come in from the bottom side. Also, I have to remove an adjustment screw. This trigger adjustment screw you can see it a little. There's a screw right here in the back. That screw right there has to come out. Okay, I'm going to do that off camera, but it should just screw straight out. You also have to remove the little plastic block that this screw went into. You notice I have removed the screw, and this is the plastic block. It goes in a slot from the outside, so you have to get a small screwdriver and just kind of prise and work it out. You can notice I've got it coming out just a little bit. Mine's a little tight, and you may even have to mash down on this trigger right here. Not sure if I can get the camera to focus in on it. it may be putting enough pressure on it that you may have to mash down on it just a little bit, and that takes the pressure off of it. It has a spring on it, but this is the device right here, the plastic block, and it will push out. And mine's already come out about a 1/16 of an inch, and I can easily get it on out. I just stopped so that I could go ahead and film it and show how it comes out. But it comes out from the back side here and has to come straight out to the back. This is a little plastic block and the adjustment screw that has been removed. That's been done, and now I'm going to zoom out the right way here. Now I'm going to take the original trigger and remove this pin and place the pin in the new trigger and place the trigger back into the trigger assembly. Okay, the new trigger has been placed in. I was going to show some of it when I put the fat pin in, but it's got pressure on it, so I had to go ahead and stick it on up in the hole. But the fat pin rides in this groove here, so that's the fat pin right there. The camera's not picking it up very well, but you can maybe see it now. So that's the fat pin, rides in the groove. I put the other pin back into the hole to hold the trigger, because when you push it in, there's a spring you have to press and line up, and I use one of my little screwdrivers here from the back side to go up in the hole and kind of halfway keep it lined up while I pressed it on up in there. Now the only thing that should be left to do now is to force the little clip back onto this, and this should be a done deal. I should be able to put it back in my rifle and try it out, see how it does. So I'm going to do that. Again, I have to do it off camera because the camera is between me and the rifle. I'm trying to show a close-up where you can actually see it. So that's the pin right here, and it's got a little groove in it, and I got to slide the little E-clip has to go back on the little pin. Flat bladed screwdriver and with a finger on top of it just in case it slips. You don't want it to disappear because it's a small item. Alright, I'm going to do it off camera. My little clip seemed like it had opened up a little bit when I prized it off, so I had to go get a pair of needle nose pliers and squeeze mine back together a little bit so that it will stay inside that groove of the ring without coming back off. So okay, once I've done that, that should be good for now. Now to gather up the parts, I have a trigger screw, a trigger, and I should have a little plastic part. Looks like it fell off the floor here. And a little plastic trigger adjustment screw holder. So I have 3 little parts left over. That's the ones that came off. So I should be good to go. I guess I'll put it back together and try it out. Alright, that's about the deal. One thing I do want to mention is these front screws going through this stock have washers. So when you remove the screw, make sure that you keep up with the washer because it will fall off very easy. The rear screw, at least mine, did not have a washer, so that's no problem. But again, keep your eye on the washer on the front screw. I just dry fired it, and wow, it makes a heck of a difference. I felt a little, felt like about 1/8 of an inch pull, but it was extremely light, and I could barely feel the stop, and it went off. So it is at least 200% different than it was before, and I think I'm gonna like this. Okay, GTX trigger on a Benjamin NP. Thanks very much.